Hello, my name is Manas. I'm a grandmother now, the kind you might pass by on the street and barely notice. Just a quiet old lady with white hair and kind eyes. But behind these wrinkles is a story that's been buried for decades. Today, I'm finally ready to tell it. When I was young, I grew up in a family that looked perfect on the outside. My father was respected, my mother graceful and calm. We had guests every weekend, dressed nicely, and smiled for everyone. But inside our home, things were cold, silent, and there were secrets, the kind no one dared to speak of. At 18, I met Farid. He was kind, thoughtful, and most importantly, he listened. Not just to my words, but to the silence in between them. We fell in love quickly. Our wedding was simple but filled with joy. I moved into the downstairs apartment of my parents' house. It wasn't ideal, but it was a start point. 2 years into our marriage, I found out I was pregnant. Farid cried when I told him. Every night, he'd put his hand on my belly and talk to our baby. He had dreams. We both did. I imagined our child's first steps, first day at school. I even pictured myself as an old woman watching my grandchildren play in the garden. But dreams are fragile. Farid worked in the city and had to travel often. During his trips, I stayed at home alone, or so I thought. Then something started to shift in my family. One evening, I heard shouting upstairs. My mother and father were arguing, no yelling, something I had never seen. The next morning, my mother came to my door, her face pale. She said she had to go stay with her sister for a few days. She didn't explain, but her eyes, they said everything. She left, and I was alone in the house. That's when things started to feel wrong. Not dangerous, just off. At first, it was the way my father would check in on me too often, the way he would ask strange questions. Then came the passive-aggressive remarks. Are you sure you're eating well? Or, you should come upstairs more. It's lonely up there. I felt uneasy, but I told myself I was overthinking it. Then came the betrayal. No violence. No crime. But something deeper. A truth about my family and my pregnancy that tore me apart. I discovered that Farid and my father had been hiding something from me. A financial agreement. A plan that involved me but never included my voice. My father had paid off a loan for Farid without telling me. And Farid had agreed to something I never imagined. To move abroad, with or without me. As soon as the baby was born, I felt disposable. Like my life had been traded behind closed doors. I felt betrayed by both the men I trusted most. That night, I collapsed. The stress, the confusion, the heartbreak. I was rushed to the hospital. I had complications. I lost the baby. I remember lying in that hospital bed, cold and empty, hearing only silence. No crying baby. No husband. No comfort. My mother returned the next day and held my hand. She didn't say, I'm sorry. She just said, you didn't deserve this. And I knew. She wasn't just talking about the baby. Years passed. I forgave Farid eventually. We stayed together for a while, but we were never the same. I distanced myself from my father. And my mother? She became my closest friend. We understood each other in ways words couldn't capture. Now, decades later, I share this not for pity, but for those who feel voiceless in their own homes. For the women carrying pain no one sees. And for the young mothers out there who feel hope and fear at the same time. You are not alone. And your story matters, even if no one believes it yet. If this story touched you, please support our channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who might need it. Your support helps bring more real stories to light. Thank you for listening.